Today I'm joined by Mike Phillips. Thanks for joining me, Mike. Would you give us a little bit of background about yourself?
Yeah, you bet, Chris. I'm glad to be a part of this. Yeah, my career just basically ended a year ago, and I was at the last. My last position was the nuclear marketing director for Schneider Electric. And if you look at my last 20 some years, it looks like I worked for about three or four different companies. It's just that the companies got purchased by other companies. So I really had a pretty long career with with a one group, but it was a matter of three or four companies that were put together. So there's a lot of um, it's a longer career than it looks like sometimes in my resume. But anyhow, it's all based on control systems um, for the process control world. Just a real quick one. If somebody was building a new refinery, somebody was building a new power plant, we sold the control systems and the operator interface for those kind of processes.
Awesome, thank you. You mentioned earlier that you have done a little bit of mentoring before for new college students.
Yeah, and it isn't so much that that I was picked to do it. It's just that what I found was a kind of a vacuum in what some of the new college entries thought about what their job was, what they were supposed to be doing. Found that their bosses may not have described exactly what they were expected to do, and so they felt a little lost. And so, yeah, I did some mentoring, especially the last probably 3 or 4 years, with a group of kids that had come out of the what I'd say the process control industry into the nuclear world that I had the responsibility for.
Awesome, awesome. So, from a managing perspective, what could a new college graduate do to gain some traction in the industry or get his foot in the door?
Well, the first thing, and I'll start from just getting out of school and getting into your first position. Um, there's two things that I feel that you have to be kind of not that you want to feel this way from all the way through your career, but basically careers are going to be shorter at any one position, any one company anymore for the coming. I see that's what I see for the next generation. So instead of having a 20 or 30 or 40-year career with somebody, you're going to have a 5 to 8 year career. So you've got to hit the ground running pretty much. And from a resume or from a interview position, the more you can know about each one of your interviewees and the company that they work for, and not necessarily that you have to have all the answers of how you're going to fix their company because they think their company's doing okay probably. So it's just how you fit into that organization, and not so much that you will put yourself apart if you've done some research to find out about why you might be in that seat interviewing with these people. So do a little research. Got a lot of facilities out there to be able to go and find out not only about the company but even possibly about the interviewer. So take advantage of those situations, and because there's only so many things you can do to set yourself apart maybe in a 1 hour interview. So knowing something about the company that you're talking to and how your capabilities might relate to that is a key, because a lot of people I've interviewed just come in just going, so what would be my job be, and I don't know, you tell me what you do. So that's one thing, and then once you get into the job, what I found with these people that I was mentoring over the last couple of years was that their relationship with their manager was pretty standoffish, and that can be certainly be felt by the pressures of most industries. They're downsizing, right sizing. They're working. Basically, I found sometimes in my career that I was working just about 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, because you're always available, and that gets to be old. So you have to establish some rapport with your manager. And I'm not saying you have to be his best buddy, go play racquetball with him or anything, but you've got to understand how he ticks. And managers can be one of any of the four major personality groups. And if you go after one with the wrong attitude, you're not going to connect with them. So you have to do a little bit of figuring out how best to do that. But what I found more than anything was that no matter what the personality of the manager, they were so busy they didn't have time to tell the new recruit what his job was, really. And I found a lot of people were just kind of wandering around. So one of two things: either have that conversation once you figure out the personality type and try to figure out how to get his attention or her attention. Is also just find your talk to some of the people that are maybe half a generation or a generation ahead of you that seem to be doing well in the company, and try to find yourself a mentor within the company. Because if what I've also found is that they usually respond very well, because not very many people come and ask questions about things like that. People just come to work and go home. So it's all about setting yourself apart a little bit. Being the if you know it was an old book that I read a long time ago. It said, if all you do is sweep the floor, be the best floor sweeper that they have. And because they're going to notice that and say, do you want to do this instead? So it doesn't matter what the job is. Do it to your best, and keep looking for the other opportunities. And based on the input from your manager and your mentoring, the people that you finally assimilate into a mentoring group, and stay close to those people. If they're good, you'll know it. Now that I've retired for over a year, I still get calls back from the guys that I mentored that were, in their early 20s, and that just saying, thanks, that helped, or boy, I'm stumped, or whatever happens to be. And we all want everybody to succeed.
For sure.
If there's no reason for them to be employed if we're not interested in their future.
You mentioned before the interview that networking was a huge deal, and you said that you're still getting calls from people, and how important is that for a new graduate to be?
Well, it's hard with the. I find it's difficult. You got to realize I'm in my 60s, so I'm a generation or two departed from technology. But there's so much information that you can glean. I would say two things. Keep close to the people that are in the industry, that seem to be thought leaders. If you get the opportunity to get introduced, there's nothing wrong with, like we were talking about, getting an invitation to be part of their LinkedIn group. And don't feel bad about following up with I met you at the XYZ conference and really appreciated your input. And hope that we can get together the next one. Are you going to be at the one in October? Kind of thing. Nothing wrong with that. And that's kind of what I mean about the keeping. You don't know what you're going to need and when you're going to need it, but good people are good people.
Yeah.
So there's thought leaders. I have a few of those who ended up being good personal friends, but that was much later. And the other thing that you'll find, and this is more my personality, is I found good people and made sure that they advanced above me. There's nothing wrong with having your boss's boss be somebody that you brought into the company and mentored.
Yeah,
so
sure.
You never know where they're going to end up, and that's what I mean by the networking. Is just keep track of people that are going to be in industries at either a thought leader or at a managerial position. And I've found in my career they're very, very willing to help if you approach cautiously and not, not telling them all the reasons they need to know you, but rather, kind of everybody likes to talk about themselves.
Yeah.
So get them talking.
Well, I appreciate it, Mike. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah. Anything else? Just let me know. Be glad to help.
Thank you.
Thanks.